Welcome guys, today playing live. It's the Bounty Builder main event day, lots of action, and I am recording today to show you how I navigate through the early game. We're playing 8 tables on Pokerstars. Top right, we flat nines pre-flop. We flop pretty well, and we're just going for 3/3 of value. I won't be able to explain every single spot so in depth, so the purpose of this session is more to see how I navigate through a lot of different spots that might occur during the early game. I think top 2 pair here on the bottom right is strong enough to check raise and also play for stacks. The jack isn't necessarily the best card because he has of course king queen with 1 diamond each, but he still has all the weaker ace-x, ace-queen, ace-king. And I think I'm gonna bet fold the turn. If he jams, I don't think he's jamming anything worse, to be honest. And I'm gonna shove on the river for value. The only real value hands he can have are like king, queen, king, jack, and diamonds, queen, jack, and diamonds. Maybe something like 8-9, 7-8 in diamonds, but he might also be shoving those on the turn to not see an action killer. So I feel very comfortable shoving here. He might even have something like jack 10. He has all ace queens, ace kings with 1 blocker. So we're gonna shove for value here. Or even king jack. So very important to not be afraid to go for thin value there on the river, especially when they cover you. I'm gonna call the 5 deuce off here because he's so short. So yeah, I'm just gonna call my entire range. And I hope my 5 is good enough on the river. And oh, it is. He had king 4 in clubs, king 4 against king 4 right there. Our equity is pretty decent, of course. He checks back. I think his range is very often a queen, a 7, 9s, 10s, 8s, maybe ace jack, ace 10. So I think we should definitely go for a turn bet. Not too small because he has a lot of hands that have a very easy decision to, regardless if you bet 1/3 or 2/3. So here, middle left, we have 8 big blinds. I'm just gonna call against the shove. Pocket nines, around 45 big blinds, hijack versus big blind, I think. It's a mix of 3-betting and calling. I think I slightly prefer the 3-bet. Definitely see people 4-bet shoving 7s, 8s there, ace king, ace queen. Of course, also better hands, but we also deny a lot of equity there. So Sixes is not good enough against the 4x ISO raise here. We can't call. Shoving wouldn't be good. I don't think we have so much fold equity. Unfortunately, in the Bounty Builder main event, we had a really bad setup. Versus Kings versus Aces blind battle, and we lost a huge pot and went on pre-flop. Ace 10 off here, we have multiple options. You can either shove or raise call. I prefer a little bit the raise call. I think G of Ganga will be reshoving quite aggressively against me, and we have an easy call. But he unfortunately has a better hand here. This I didn't see where 10 big blinds short. Shouldn't be re-entering with 10 big blinds, of course. King Jack, I'm gonna call once, especially with the backdoor flush draw. But against the second barrel, I'm going to fold on the top mid. I don't know this guy. Maybe I go for a check shove. Yeah, I mean, we have all the King X and clubs. We block the King X and clubs. So let's do it. I think he very often has... Oh wow, he snaps it off. Okay, that was a bad bluff. Then this was a bad bluff. Yeah, sometimes you run into those people that simply don't want to believe you. Queen Jack off here wouldn't be the worst bluff. I mean, we're really far down in our range, but I also know that he's quite sticky. Oh, very interesting check there. I think the tenant parts is we simply have too many ace-x we're checking back. It's a very bad turn, so if we have something like ace-9 in clubs, ace-10 in clubs, we're gonna check back, but we also sometimes have to bluff catch. King 9 suited here, easy defend, of course. Ace check off here, bottom left, we just go all in. I think I go for a check raise here. We have some good hands to, good cards on the turn that we can barrel. Any jack, any 10. And he's gonna have a lot of 6s, 7s, 8s, and we won the bounty here. Alright, that's very interesting that he just shoves it. I would assume he's very often shoving their kings, aces, because he puts me on a king queen type of hand, because it's really hard to find proper bluffs. So maybe he perceives me as quite strong on this board. Maybe it's like 4, 5, 6, 5. But I do have deuces, 3s. I have queen deuce, queen 3 suited. We're gonna get in with ace king here, of course. And we managed to hit the turn. Early game is always very important to just wait for basically. I mean, if you see a good spot to bluff, then you of course it's okay to take it. It doesn't go always right, as we've seen with the king jack, which I think is also not necessarily mandatory in the early game. I mean, as you've seen, the guy just snaps it off with ace 10, and you have too many of those. And I think it's also somewhat a leak of mine that I still try to bluff too much in those spots. And it's just not necessary. I think it's very likely that you face opponents just, once they have an ace, they just call it off. They don't think about their own range or your perceived range or all these super sophisticated terms. So I'm gonna bet my queen jack here, bottom right corner. It's quite vulnerable. Checking back here with his stack size, my ace 5. We can easily call it any turn, and if it breaks through, we also have a call down hand. A 4-5 suited, we can take a flop. Same for the 10-9 off. This guy goes for a check raise. We call once. And here we call, and we're also going to call a river shove. I mean, he just has way too many bluffs. Ace queen off, we call. And he was check raising ace 4. I like this bluff a lot. I like this check raise here, bottom right. And we're gonna call our ace queen. It's totally fine to shove pre, but I do believe that I will gain a little bit more EV by just calling. And easy call here. We saved ourselves quite a lot of EV by not shoving it pre. And ace 10 suited, easy open. With the ace 5, it's very important that you understand that it's, yes, we have fourth pair, but I mean, he has so many 4x, so many 7x, flush draws. We can never fold a 5 here. You have so many ace highs that you're checking back with. Ace 10 suited. We can also, with this deck size, we can shove. We can call. I think calling is fine. Shoving is fine. PP deuce 3-bet quite a lot, or too much with this deck size. And Jack 9 suited here. I think I'm gonna go for value raise. He can have 6-7, 9-6, and I don't think he's ever going to fold those. I think I'm just gonna call, and I can call any turn. If he shoves, he can have king, queen, spades, queen 10 spades, and we have enough equity against, let's say, if he has a jack. Wow, he shoves ace king. He shoves ace king. That's very interesting. But I think it wouldn't have made any difference if he would have shoved pre-flop. If he would have shoved pre-flop, he would have called. I don't think he folds ace king on the flop. Quite unlucky though. Well, let's see, would he have folded the flop? I don't think so. We have all the queen 10s, king queens, nut flush draws. He blocks ace jack, king jack. Even if he has a king and clubs, he also has in case, let's say we have jack 10 and hearts, he has backdoor equity for his flush draw. Yeah. Of course, you might ask yourself, why don't you just check shove the flop? So the point is that this hand is always strong enough to call a turn all in, right? We have the flush draw plus a gut shot, so I think he shoves a little bit less than pot. So even if he has, let's say, queen or jack, yeah, we're always going to have enough equity. Plus, he can easily have bluffs in the spot. He can have queen 10s, king queens, weaker flush draws, ace 5 in spades. All these hands are easily in this range. Against those hands, we have 70% equity. So all in all, against this overall range, we have at least more than 33% equity here. And it also strengthened my calling range because I also have a lot of floats like king, queen, queen 10s, maybe some ace highs with backdoor flush draw that I still want to call this flop. Some weak jack X. King queen suited top right. We just go all in here. Queen 7 off against hijack. Queen 6 off. Still close, but it's all right. If I would have ace queen in hearts, or let's say the ace or queen in spades, I wouldn't mind taking a step, but I think this hand is a bit too weak. Yeah, I mean, technically, they have to call any two. I mean, our starting stack is 50,000. I have 1/5 starting stack. If the big blind folds one single hand, wow. Okay, he gets the respective tag. Also, these players very likely have no clue what's going on. I mean, I jam 1/5 of my starting stack. One bounty is already worth around 20,000 in chips. So even if you have only one card, you can probably call it off. Ace queen here. I think his bet sizing looks very weak. I think I'm gonna raise call here in the Sunny Million. Against the big sizing, I would just call, but I definitely give myself quite some forward equity. We knock out some hands like 7s, 8s from him. And he also might have a flush draw, a diamond flush draw that we get some value from. What are you trying to tell, buddy? What are you trying to tell? I feel very incentivized to hero call here, to be honest, on the river. I mean, it's calling from the small blind. From the big blind, I would fold. There are a lot of 2-pair combos. But from the small blind, it's maybe king 4 suited. But is he really shoving a hand like... Wouldn't he shove sets on the turn against my raise on a double flush draw board? Kind of 7-8, 8-9, all the diamond draws. But we should always look at both sides of the coin. What are the value hands? It's not many. It's not many. 4x, ace 4. I mean, ace 4, yeah. We block ace 4. It's like some 4x and ace 4 and diamonds. I'm calling it. It's literally just one of the few hands he can call with there. He can have. But they always have it. They always have it. Well played. King Jack suited here. We can just go ahead and bet. Bottom left corner. Gonna check. King Queen would be strong enough to keep betting. Okay, that's definitely gonna raise this one here. And top left, I have a little bit more than pot left, 125 pot roughly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shove the flop here with top pair. Yeah, the setup at the beginning with kings and aces definitely hurt me quite a lot. Was not able to recover from this one. Ace deuce off, 9 big blinds, hijack. Happy to shove. I mean, not super happy to shove, but obviously strong enough to shove. And whenever you have a misstep, let's say now with the 2 hands we had in the Sunday main, with the ace queen hero call and the king jack bluff, it's very important that you recognize it as, all right, you kind of fucked it up there. At least let's say I'm a little bit more happy with the ace queen call than with the king jack bluff, because I do believe at the end of the day in these spots when people have top pairs, they don't like folding it. And even though in theory we have good blockers, it makes sense against a good player, but even good players I think are just might be too sticky in those spots. But alright, it happens. It's at the beginning of the tournament. Mistakes will be forgiven easily or easier than in the late game. Keep that in mind. In the late game, not necessarily as easy as in the early game. Okay, so we open raise ace-10 off. Bottom right corner, guy flats we see, but I think we should check the turn. Since this blank isn't really good for our range, we're gonna have some overcards that we barrel that have not improved. And yeah, he calls for middle position, so he can have jacks, he can have tens, he can have fives, he can have sixes, maybe even queens. So it would be very thin here to go for 3 streets. So at some point we have to start checking. And here's 10-9. All right. Top left, we open raise ace-10 off. This guy donks into us. That's a very great turn. Do I want to raise? I mean, he can have. It's a bounty, so I think raising being so deep would be a little bit. Would be a little bit too much. If he bets now half pot, I'm gonna raise him. Now he bets half pot. So the thing is, wouldn't you think a little bit longer with your value hands? Maybe a turn of sizings. Do we have a value shove here? Do we want a value shove or do we just want to call? I mean, he can have jack 8. He can have ace 8. He can have some random ace 4 suited. Very unlikely though. But ace 8, very much likely. Ace jack, is he always leading it? I mean, same for ace 8. Doesn't really make any sense. I think I'm going to shove for value. Or raise forward. I think I'm going to go for raise forward. I think shoving would be a little bit too crazy. What? I should have shoved. Oh my Jesus fucking Christ. What was happening there? I mean, of course, you can't know that in advance. I mean, that this guy is just a huge punter. So top right corner, we flop very well ace 4 against Chester, and we ain't going anywhere. Question is value shoving or check calling. I think I'm gonna go for a check call. He has pocket nines. He should definitely jam this with a decent frequency here. I'm 3-betting the sevens here, bottom left corner. We flop pretty decent. Why don't we just go for 3 streets? I think I'm just gonna jam the turn, to be honest. And here the straight, I'm just gonna jam. I can jam hands like 10-9, jack 10. Oh, pocket kings. And unfortunately, we don't hold in the Sunny main. Sunny main isn't going so great so far due to my incompetence and retardedness, and due to a little bit of bad luck. King Queen suited for less than 30 big blinds, totally fine to 3-bet call. But the other tournaments are going quite alright. Did he actually call with the 7s here on the top left? Bottom left. Why am I having so much problems with top and bottom? Ace Queen calling there. I mean, I only represent something like Ace 10 and some flush draws, but against everything else, he's very much drawing dead. Gonna check call my King Queen. The big blind has a shitload of 10x, so I want to be very careful with leading here. I'm gonna go for a second barrel here against his 5s, 4s, 7s, some 6x. No value with the King Queen. I kind of expected it. I think that one of these guys would have already started betting earlier. And now we have an easy forward. Oh, I misclicked forwarded the King Queen suited here. Ace check off. I'm going to 3-bet. One position earlier, I think I would just fold. That's what you're looking for. You 3-bet ace check off and the old table cards. All right, we're out. Interesting spot here with the ace 5 of clubs. I would definitely do something at least once on the flop and then take it from there. I think we have to call once with the intention to perhaps steer the pot on later street. Don't necessarily need to bet to be honest here on the turn, because I think we represent a lot of King X, Jack X. He knows we're going to be betting Queen 10s and stuff. So I also don't think we have a value bet here, or do we? It's weak though. I think I'm going for a small. Maybe he thinks we have 7s, 8s and turned it into bluff. Kinda hate my life if he check raises though. Not sure if that is even a value bet, to be honest. It's one of these spots where I think his range is very polarized. When he bets, I mean, he's not betting something like Queen Jack or 10s in this spot. I'm gonna squeeze this hand. I think if getting caught, it still plays very well. And we also isolate this guy, which is pretty good. As we've seen, we definitely want to play. I'm going to go for a second barrel against, I think, any kind of 5, sorry. I'm just going to c-bet small. I think he will have enough crap. Folding out some floats here. Oh, wow. I mean, I think this guy I'm just going to shove. even if he calls, even if he hero calls me with an 8 or with a 9, I mean he's not folding an ace, right? But he can have something like a weak 5 and 9, like 6-5 suited, 4-5 suited, pocket sixes. The question is he actually folding it? Maybe you should check back. Question is how much fold equity do we have? But Ayesa has 1.5 bodies. I think it's worth it to take the risk here. He's like even stronger than that. But I think even knowing that he has an ace, we probably have enough equity with the gutter and the straight draw plus the bounty that is worth roughly 20,000 in chips. I'm just gonna shove the ace 8 off here, ace 6 off. GG big 109. The 10-8 off, it's really nasty. I think I have to barrel it. Yeah, he can still have Jack X, 7X, something like Jack 10 with a gutter. And I just want to shove the river. I don't necessarily want to be betting small. I want to represent the 2 pair. Jesus fucking Christ. People really don't like the fold today. I was actually thinking that it's actually a good spot because I don't have so many bluffs with the ace. It's literally 8-9, 10-9, 10-8. And I do have all the 2 pairs plus king 10. I mean, I don't have ace queen ace check, but I certainly have ace 7. I do have ace 7, jack 7, queen jack. I would keep value betting any queen on the turn as well. I think he doesn't have many ace high floats on this board texture. So, but yeah, apparently people don't like folding today. Maybe it's due to the fact that there is bounty tournament series, you know, everyone is in the mood of being a little bit more ready to gamble. All right. We're getting the aces here and a sunny storm. 5-3 off, 2.5x open race in the easy call, and we're going to squeeze here our aces. And with our gut shot, we're gonna call. And we're also gonna call the turn. And easy fold on the river. I think king jack off. We can't even consider flatting. I think I'm gonna flat. Aces, setting us up a sizing where I can shove most turns. Hit 7 suited. We're gonna peel here. Oops. Yeah, it kind of sucks with this deck size. You can just shove any pair or straight draw. So I'm gonna check it back. This sizing looks very scary. We're still a lot ahead against some queen X. And he still has some flush draws. I don't think we need to bluff here, to be honest. Queen 9 off. Yeah, I don't mind this bet. But we definitely have some jack X we're checking back here. Ace queen off. Easy call. And hope to hold. Yep. It's looking good. Do we want to value bet? If we bet, it would be a bet forward. I think it's a little bit too thin. I think I'm going for a small check raise with my ace 9 and diamonds here. He has all the 6s to 8s that he's betting, and I don't think they can proceed against a check raise. Kings in the bounty builder high roller. Always great to get kings with 30 big blinds when you're so short in a bounty builder. I check off, we just shove here for 10, 11 big blinds even from under the gun. Always profitable. And the way to go is just to 4-bet shove here. This might be 3 bullets GG in 1.5 hours. but sometimes it is how it is, or what it is. It is what it is. Is Myrtlemoo setting our... Yes, very likely. He's going to end our Sunday main for tonight. Not nice. Not nice. Or do we have one more shot? Oh, we have one more shot. Alright, we're back. King 10 off would be a proper reshove as well, but are we getting it in against ace 10 off here? That's... I think since we only have starting bounty, it's still to lose. I think he can 3-bet forward there. Lucky fish bets. I think I'm just gonna call, and we're gonna call. This is an interesting river. I think I'm going for a block bet. We're going for a block bet. What if he shoves? What if he shoves? I mean, this card is just so incredibly good for our range. I mean, this card is so good at our range that our one pair King X hands become now quite weak, and we improved to so many 2 pairs, 6-5, 5-6, 4-6, 3-6, 5-7, 4-7, 6 deuce, maybe not 6 deuce, but 5 deuce. He shoves. With King 7, King 6. Is he really shoving King 8, King or King Queen, King Jack here? King 8. He's shoving King 8. I don't know. This is one of these hands where it feels impossible for me to fold with this deck size, but I definitely have to look it up. All right, guys, gonna jump into the break and then see you in a bit. All right, let's continue. Just had a little snack. I think force here would be a little bit too early to VPip with only 30 big blinds. Queens in the Sunday warm-up. Five deuce suited is going to go in my cold 4-betting range here. Of course not. Maybe we stack it off. No. Gonna 3-bet small here. Al Magellan. Top set. The 3-bet 8s. Flatting is totally fine as well. I think I'm going to check back with this deck to pot ratio. So the ace can either be good or it can be horrible. Look, I love seeing the 4-bet here, but I think we got a call. You can still be bluffing. A bit small here. It's basically just hoping that he has an ace. If he calls, it's actually pretty good. Because I think flush draws would be check shoving or do something else. Maybe as Jack 10. But I would expect him to check shove this very often on the turn. Try to get me off my king high bluffs or even Jack 10 myself. I can have king jacks, like king 9s that are just delay bet. I mean, I'm not gonna be 3-betting Jack 10 suited. So my main bluffs are gonna be some suited king highs, something like Jack 9 suited maybe. Yeah, mainly suited kings on this board texture as bluff. Come on, it's so easy to level yourself into a call. Yeah, you can never call 4 ace 10 of diamonds. That's so interesting that certain players, he actually has a very, 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 very reasonable hand to call down. I mean, I might even be value shoving ace 7 here, right? Or sorry, no, not ace 5 against the queen. So there's no way he can fold here. And yet he tanks so long. And the other guy that snaps me off with the ace 10 just snaps it off, you know. I'm not saying it's a bad call, but I think it's a spot where you definitely want to put in some thought whether you want to make the call or not. And you should always take your time. That's all I want to try to communicate here. Ace queen off against early open MP3 bet is at best going to be very break even, so you can already start folding them in the first place. And we're doing quite well in both warm-ups so far. No action with the aces. A7, easy check back. With a backdoor flush draw, would be alright to start betting. The fake aces. Okay, we're gonna call once here. I mean, we have to pay 900 for 5k. He can protection raise something like Jack 9, 10, 9. We don't need to be right very often, even though of course it sucks. But we call once and then we take it from there. 3 is really bad. Would even prefer seeing a Jack or 10 because it coordinates less with their ranges. However, a 3 does give the big blind, or if he's bluffing with 6, 7 a straight. And if he second barrels, I'm gonna be out of here. Unless he bets very small. Then against small bets, there's still the chance of him protection betting a hand like Jack 9. God, that is somewhat decising where it's a little bit more of a 50% pot. But I think I'm folding here now. Both have 6-7. I think I should also be 3x open raising my strong hands from under the gun in a tournament like the Sunday Storm. Ace and off on the button. I'm gonna take a flop from cutoff. I would fold, but button having a position is very crucial, even though he's gonna have a better hand quite often. And king 5, we're gonna start bluffing here. Definitely want to have some big sizings. I want to have small sizings here. And the ace is a really bad card. I'm just gonna give it up here. Also blocking king and spades, like flush draws. Not having a spade would be a little bit better. And tens, we're just gonna call. I think I'm going for a block bet here. Think that he can have a pot controlled queen jack, queen 10 certainly. But he can also have nines, he can have sevens, he can have an 8, like ace 8, 8, 9 suited. I don't think those are folding. I'm gonna 3-bet call the king queen suited here. And we get a little bit of value. He might even level himself with king queen into ace king into a call, and he has ace 8. Remember, when someone c-bets and check-backs the turn, it reduces the amount of value hands he has heavily. And he still has all his second pairs, under pairs, ace high, king highs. And then your tens on the queen high board become incredibly strong in terms of equity. So you shouldn't be afraid to put in a thin value, even though it's not a thin value bet. The only hands he can have are really just the occasional slow play. But apart from that, it is mostly going to be nines. Jacks, of course, jacks, the queen jacks and queen tens. Ace 8s, 8 9s, 10 8 suited, 8 7 suited. Maybe something like ace deuce suited, what people like to 3-bet here. But yeah, ace 8 off is of course. Is of course not good. So my reasoning why 3-bet calling king queen suited is, first of all, with a bounty in play and I only have half of the chips in play or half of the starting stack, is that I do believe that people are going to 4-bet shove wider pairs, ace x that I'm flipping against. Plus, the most of the value I see coming from his calls, because he's going to call so much looser against my 3-bets. And that's pretty nice that he squeezes, so we can get it in here with our ace king suit. I think now it's the last bullet. Now we really gotta have to. Oh wow, king 10. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. Sunday million. Not today, I think. Damn it! I wanted to take a note. I mean, it's not horrible, but. Fives here. I think I'm going to reshove. He's going to be opening really, really wide with this short stack here. Yeah, and we even still have a bit of forward equity. Oh, he flats aces in the small blind. Tricky. I'm just going to shove the jack 10 suit. I think he's going to reshove on me very wide. It's basically blind versus blind. Yeah. Good call. We need a queen and a queen only. And there it is. Thank you very much. Gut shot flush draw. I think we have to. Do we have to call? Oh god. Okay, that's gonna get with one player behind. I mean, we need somewhere around 27% equity. With a flush draw, we have 18 plus the gutter. We have around 8-9% additional equity. Yeah. We have to call. Oh, we want a bounty. Because I do believe if the flush gets there, that since we're only going to have half pot left, he's just going to put the rest in. And especially also the 8, we have implied odds. Kind of sucks though, because I think he might be on a draw very often as well. With a pure 6-high flush draw, would always fold the turn. But with a flush draw, we already have 18-19% equity. Plus the gut shot. Yeah, we already have the needed 28% equity. Remember, if he bets pot size, we need 33%. So we even have a little bit of a backup there, a couple of equities. And we have the implied odds. Sunday main is simply too tough. I'm gonna 3-bet the queens here. And good luck with the pocket queens here. Nope. And that's right before the bubble. But sometimes you're meant to die. Not the worst board for pocket eights. And that's GG in the warm-up. Unfortunately, King 10 off, we're gonna defend, of course. So actually now, since with the bounty, the dynamics change quite a lot. I mean, since he covers me, he might be opening hands like King Deuce, King 5, he has Ace 5s. I think I'm gonna go for a raise here and play for stacks, to be honest. I think if he has Ace 4, he might just 4-bit jam on me if he has 4-5 or 5-6. Whereas he might slow down a lot of different turns, so I think I just want to fast play here. Give him the opportunity to do something crazy. Poker jacks. Easy 3-bet here. Great flop. Sizing doesn't really matter. 4K, 5K, we're gonna have a stack to pot ratio where we can shove any turn. And yeah, if he has a 10 or flush draw, I think he's gonna be shoving. I think 8s he can just shove pre-flop. I mean, what is he waiting for? If he's gonna get it in on the 10 high board, he can also get it in on the pre-flop if he thinks. I mean, I can have ace jacks, ace queen, ace kings. With a bounty, it just makes it so much more attractive to get it in there with 8s. Maybe just try to dodge the ace and then get it in. Ace deuce here, we're gonna call once with the additional overcard. And then we're just going to hope for check check. And he has ace 9. Unless his check looks a bit scary, to be honest. I mean, that's such a great board to just c-bet very small. We have so much crap in our range. So I'm a little bit suspicious. And river, we can value bet. Oh, he didn't have anything. All right. I'm gonna slowly wrap it up because I'm also going to have having more tables on my second screen, so of course it's now getting kind of dicey, and I want to also now really focus on the grind, because when you explain you're not as focused as if you would just play and be dialed in. Easy open here with a 10-9 suited. And ace queen off here with a bounty. Already half a stack in the middle. I'm just gonna shove. I mean, don't expect a lot of bluffs, but yeah, I don't think 6 max button versus hijack, big blind versus hijack. There's so much you can do. Going to 3-bet the king 10 suited here. And I think on this board here with a7 off, we can just check shove. With an overcard. Good equity against all queen jack, jack 10s, king queens, king jacks. And we still have full equity. And against the 4-bet, we have an easy fold. 9-4 suited here, middle pair, flush right, check raise. Turn is a brick, so I'm going for a check call. And river, we can check forward. Unfortunately, we didn't improve. And he has a queen. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Honestly, there was not so many interesting spots, but I think always something to learn. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and then if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or best would be join our Discord. This is interesting here. He shoves 5 big blinds, 4 big blinds, and he ISO shoves. I think he can be very wide. He has 2 starting bounties already. I'm just going to go over top here. Let's sweat this hand. Oh, wow. This is not what you want to see there. And pocket 8s, I'm just gonna call here. For 20 bigs. He can be reshoving too many pairs here. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay strong and then see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like. And then see you guys next time. Ciao.